Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today is a 3 looks, 1 palette, some of my favourite videos to do. It takes long, it's a lot of work and it takes ages to edit, but I love the variety I can put into one video. I think it's really fun and I love watching these videos as well. So we're doing a 3 looks, 1 palette using the by Beauty Bay New Romantics 20 colour palette. Yeah, you would have seen I've already done a first impressions on this, so you can see all the swatches and everything there. Look at it though, oh my god, it's like, it came out for like Valentine's Day, but look at how beautiful that colour story is. It's really, you can get really dark because there's a black in here, and I mean, I don't really use these colours that often, but it goes quite light as well. Nice bit of depth, there's like olivey tone here, and I really like that as well. Some neutrals, but it's definitely more of a red, pink, heavy palette. There's a little bit of purple, so I just think you can get a variety of that kind of romantic kind of look, if that makes sense, or as the name is, New Romantics, an 80s kind of style look you could get definitely with this kind of palette. I've been really enjoying playing with it. It's been working really well for me. I got this look out of it so far for this video. I haven't filmed my other 2 looks just yet, and my first impressions one was beautiful. I actually think I prefer this though. I love a halo though, so I mean that's just me. But I will be doing 2 more looks in this video. I will have pictures up of this look and the other looks on my Instagram, which is linked down below, so you can see that there. I always do up close pictures of my eyeballs and up close pictures of my face ball, and you can see that there. I don't know when it's going live. It'll be soon after the video goes up. I don't know, who knows, you tell me. Yeah, and also hit subscribe down below to see more. I've so many more palettes to play with. It's getting ridiculous and it's only going to get worse. I also have more of my collection coming up. I've got my colour series coming up. I have all that coming. I've got haul videos, tag videos, fun, I don't know, whatever. If you have any suggestions, leave them down below and I will add them to my list to do in the future. Let's get into look number 1. Alrighty, so let's get into our first look using the New Romantics palette, and I'm very excited. I have my looks kind of planned out a little bit. This one I kind of thought of just today, spur of the moment, that this is what I wanted to do, because my other looks I wasn't in the mood of doing right now, but I do want to do them eventually. So I'm thinking a halo eye, as per usual, what's new with me, and I basically want to do something with these 3, so this one, and this one, and then like this really light shimmer as well. So halo eye using all those bits, that's what we're planning. So I'm going to take Flamingo, which is actually, no, not Flamingo, sorry, NARS, which is this kind of almost like a russety, burnt orangey reddy kind of color, and we're going to start with that, and I'm going to use that on a 221 brush from MAC. Also, skin is on, not fully, but it's mostly on. Brow is on and eyeshadow primer is on. It's all listed down below. So I'm going to pick up NARS on my 221 and we're going to start with that and pop that on the outer corner. Now this is mostly just here for depth. I don't want, like, I want it to be mostly pink look. That's the idea. But this is more of a russety kind of colour. I could have definitely used the more like red colours in the palette, but I think this will give a bit more contrast. So I'm just packing that on that outer corner. Not really going to bring it into the crease too much, just a little sweep in like that. And I'll take that on the inner part in here and bring that into the crease a little bit as well. Then I'm going to go in with a 217 and the shade Flamingo, this one here. So there is a slightly lighter pink. I don't necessarily think you need both in this palette, but this one is a bit brighter. This one has a bit more of like a neutral kind of base, but this is definitely more bright. And I'm taking that on that 221 and we're going to use that to blend out this russety shade, and it'll just add a little bit of pink to this as well. I'm also sweeping that through the crease, so then if any of that russety shade gets through the crease a little bit, I don't mind that now because it's not going to be as much. I was taking a little bit more of that and then buffing that through that inner part of the crease just to make sure it all matches around. I'll do a bit more further blending because out here I can still see it's not blending out fully, but I have another trick for that. Just taking whatever's left on my 221 brush with the shade NARS, the very first shade we used, and just the very tip of it, just tickle through just to get more blending going, just until you're happy with it. Just go back and forth between the 2 colours until you're actually happy with the blend between them. It's just because that NARS shade is so pigmented when it's going on that it can be a little bit harder to blend out right at the edge, especially with such a lighter shade. You could do like another shade and then the lightest shade, have an in-between shade, but This is fine. Then I want to just start my lower lash line. I'm not going to like fully blend it out until I have my concealer on underneath, but I'm going to take NARS again. This is a Lavender Luxe BH Cosmetics brush. It's a number 10. It's just like a small little pencil brush. Any small little brush will do. Do I want to do a like halo on the bottom as well? I think I might. No, I won't. I'm just going to smoke out the lower lash line. I think that'll just be a little bit better for me right now. Just for the kind of shimmer that I'm using, that I just think it'll look a bit better if I don't do it on the lower lash line. I'm just getting that as close as I can to my lashes, really buff that in. So yeah, quite smoked out. But I will blend that out with the pink, the lighter pink as well. Okay, so I'm moving away from my lower lash line just for a few seconds because I will do that once I've got my under eye concealer on and I can blend it out a little bit easier. But I want to do my shimmers because I'm very excited about this shimmer, and I'm going to take my NYX glitter primer like I always do. And I'm going to take some of that. I'm going to take some on a brush. No, I'm not actually. I'm going to take some on my finger because that's just easier, quicker. So not too much, just enough for this little center gap here. I was going to do the lightest shimmer, the shade Oyster, on the lid as well to like a really, really extreme halo-y kind of eye. But I don't know, I want to showcase the shade Queen more. Then I'm going to take a 239 from MAC. We're going to take the shade Queen, which is gorgeous, kind of pinky red. It's like a red russety kind of color with a pink shimmer through it. It's beautiful. And I'm going to take a tiny little dab of glitter primer, just a teeny weeny bit on my brush, just so that picks up nicely. Like I said, I love the shimmers in my Book of Magic palette from Beauty Bay, so... And I love the shimmers in the First Impressions as well, so I have high hopes. Just press that over all the areas that we applied the glitter primer. It's a little bit of a harder pressed shimmer, so I'm kind of finding it hard to pick it up on the brush enough to get like one sweep kind of thing. Obviously they blend effortlessly because it's the same kind of colour. It's a red on a red on a red. I'm going to take a little bit more of that on my finger. Sometimes with those kind of shades, they just pick up better on your finger and apply better on your finger. You get a more foiled application, which I'm getting right now. Yeah, finger is the way to go with this one. Just going to take my 221 brush from MAC and take that Mars shade, the dark matte red, and just use that to blend kind of around the edges, make sure it's all nice and soft. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now is tidy up my lower lash line. I have a little bit of like the red sparkly fallout. That's kind of all. There's no other fallout really. And then when I come back, I will blend out my lower lash line. We'll do something on the inner corner. I might still add a little bit of that Oyster shade on the lid. I don't know. I have to decide. So I'm going to jump off and I'm going to do that. Okay, I've kind of started over here because I thought my camera was rolling, but it was not. So I'm going to take Flamingo, and I've already got my skin done now, except for blusher and highlighter and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to take Flamingo. I'm going to take it on the same 217 that we used, and I'm going to use that to buff out my lower lash line. And I like it quite blown out under here, so I'm just kind of overlapping it with that darker shade. Make sure you're connecting it out here as well. You don't even have to blend it out as far as I do. I just always like it like this. I feel like just with my eye shape, with the vibe I like my makeup to be, this suits me. Okay, and then another little fun part, we're going to take Oyster, and it's this kind of champagne-y, goldy kind of colour. It's stunning, and I'm going to take that on a small little brush. This is from Sleek. Oh my god, I'm actually taking a chunk out of that with the ferrule of the brush. Holy moly, okay. This is just a small little brush from Sleek, and I'm going to just pop that on my inner corner here. Ooh, very pretty. This is a bit of a better texture, I would say, than the one that we used on the lid, the shimmer. I'm also going to take that same Oyster shade on that same brush, just a small bit at a time, because I want to be careful with this. And I'm just going to take that down the very middle of that red shade on the lid, just to add a bit more of a halo effect. I could have done this and like not added any colour to the centre of the lid and then added this to it, but I then think it would have been too stark. So we're just going to take some of this and we're just going to like work it in. I still want the red to be seen, absolutely 100%. That's the main colour on the lid, but just add a little bit of dimension to it. You can obviously skip this step and just have it the red. That's up to yourself. It just makes it a bit more of a darker look. Alrighty, I think that is it. That is all I have to do right now. So I'm going to jump off. I'm going to finish off my eyes, my cheeks and my lips, and I'll show you what I use when I come back. Alright guys, so this is how I finish off with the look. I'm really liking it. I think I feel really pretty in it. I feel kind of flirty pretty and all that kind of jazz. I really like it, and I did some TikToks and I had fun. It's fun. So let me quickly tell you what I used on my face. On the rest of my eyes, I did a wing liner, like nothing big for me anyway. It's not my normal wing, it's a little bit smaller, but probably bigger than a lot of people would prefer to have their wing liner, I don't know. But I use my Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner and Serum. That's a very long name, but it's that one. It's ultra black. It's a brush tip pen and I love it. It's great. I've actually been really liking that recently. Then I used my Kiko Milano Lasting Precision Automatic Eyeliner and Kohl. Jesus, what's up with these names? In 04, which is that burgundy shade, and I love it. I thought it'd be perfect just to give a little bit of smoke underneath the lower lash line without being black, without being too harsh, but also not being bright and in your face, because I did want it to be a little bit more smoky down there. Also, let me know if, because I feel like I'm going to run out of this soon and I don't know if Kiko actually still do these. Let me know if you have like any recommendations for like a burgundy eye pencil, like red enough to still be noticeable, but still dark enough to not be like bright red. I don't know if it's out there, but let me know. That's what I don't want, anything that's like a blackened red. I want it to be like this color. Yeah, so let me know down below. Then mascara is good old Clinique Lash Power Mascara. It's what I've been using recently, so I'm still using it, still going. And then my lashes, I decided, this is just the empty box, these are the Midnight Looks from House of Lashes. They're kind of, they've got like long spiky bits and then shorter fluffy bits in between, so they're really textured but really nice to shape the eye as well, and I really like it. Then for cheeks, my bronzer is the Laritzy bronzer. It's what I put on when I did my skin, and it is in the shade Aloha. It's one of their shade stick, contour stick things, I don't know. Beautiful, one of my favorite products, absolutely. My blush, then I went for the NARS, what are you, Dual Intensity blush in the shade Fervor, and I did the lighter shade, so this kind of soft peachy shade. I did that. It's very washed out on camera, but it's, yeah, this one looks true to colour. This one does not. That's very weird. And then for highlight, I used my KVD Beauty Metal Crush Extreme Highlighter in the shade Gravitron. And it's this guy here. And you're thinking, Carla, that's yellow. But no, it actually reflects pink when it hits. Can I get it to hit the light? Where's the light? Somewhere. That's what it looks like there. That's what's on my cheek right now. It has quite a strong pinky opal kind of reflex, but very sparkly. And I really like that. So that's what we used. Then for lips, I knew I kind of wanted like a terracotta, but not too orange, but not like a rosy kind of color, but this kind of is a rosy color, but in a terracotta way. I don't know, I'll explain it now. So what I went for is the Macula pencil in Soar. It's just like that rosy browny nude kind of color, just to line the lips, give me a little bit of shape. And then my lipstick I went for is the Sleek Matte Me Ultra Smooth Matte Lip Cream in the shade Birthday Sue. So on a lot of people this will probably be quite nude, but on me it is deep enough. It gives me a nice bit of colour, but I think the tone matches the eyes really well. So I'm very happy with it. My palette is dirty and I've only actually done like 2 looks with it. How does this even happen? Alrighty guys, so that is our first look using, well, technically our second look because I did my first impressions, but first look of this video using the By Beauty Bay New Romantic palette, and I'm loving it. I really am liking it. So I don't know, I definitely want to play with these smoky tones in here. I probably will do a whole look with that row, and I kind of might do a graphic liner. That's my other thing I have planned in. So let's see which one I choose for look number 2. Okay guys, so let's get into look number 2 using the New Romantics palette. I'm thinking super smoky, super grungy. So basically this entire bottom row, that's what we're going to do. I'm even going to put down a black base beforehand because I want this to be quite deep. I want to see how these shimmers work over black base. On my skin already, you'll see I'm very uber shiny and glowy. It's because I just haven't set my skin yet, and because I haven't done my concealer, because I'm going to do that after because it's black in this, and you know, that may get out of hand. And I haven't done my cheeks, but I do have my brows on and I do have my eyeshadow primer on. So let's start. So I'm actually going to start with my black base. This is the P. Louise Bada Black Base. Yeah, that's it. Just a black base. And I'm just going to pop that on. I haven't used this before, so this is my first time. So we'll see how this goes. I don't want to take too much because I know that these are so pigmented. So a teeny weeny bit. This is an e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush, whatever that means. It's a really stubby brush. I don't need like my lid to be like the blackest of black ever. So this should be enough. It's just to give a bit of a darker base, so that way when I put the shimmers on, they stand out really well and they have that bit of depth in them. So taking that all over and then just kind of turn my brush up and then flick it upwards, so that way we get a little bit of a blend. So you just want it to be even, so that way when you're putting your shadows on top, they don't go on a patchy base, which will then make them patchy. I'm also going to take a little bit more of that base on the very tip of that brush, teeny weeny bit. We're going to run that along the lower lash line. If it's really bright, it's because the sun is out. I have my curtains closed, I have my normal lights on, but the sun is coming through the curtains. It's so bright out. So I'm just running that across my lower lash line. probably took a little bit much actually. So now that this is on, I can actually start the shadows. I'm going to take the shade Muffin, which is this guy down here, and that's going to be our transition shade. It's not the warmest in the palette, but it's quite warm, so I'm going to just use that through the crease. I'm going to take this on an Inglot 6SS brush, so like you can kind of see there is a bit of red in it, so it'll just give us a nice bit of warmth around the edges, and we're just going to buff that all around the crease. Kind of want this to be a bit more rounded, nothing too wingy. If it wings out a little bit, I'm okay with it, but I'm not intentionally trying to wing it out. Okay, so that was our softest brush that I used for that shade, just to give us a really nice smoky, blown out kind of look. Let me just blend here a little bit more, but it'll just keep it nice and soft. And with that shade, then we can use it to blend out the deeper shades. So for a deeper shade, I'm going to take Saddle, which is this dark brown. Ironically, MAC have one called Saddle as well, which is a dark brown. I'm picking that up on a Spectrum B07 brush, so a big fluffy brush like this. You can use a smaller fluffy brush, it's just, this will be fine for me. I don't really mind. It's a grungy look, so if it gets a bit messy, that's okay. And that's going to go in the crease. I don't even know if I'm going to use the black really. I might, but I don't know. So just running that all through the crease. That's such a beautiful brown. That brown is so dark. It could be the black base that I have underneath it as well, but it is a really dark brown. So then take your 6SS from Inglot. I keep trying to say MAC. Inglot, and use that to keep that blend nice and soft. Still want to be able to see that muffin shade. I want to be able to see that nice bit of warmth peeking through. Okay, I'm going to leave the black until like the end after, or just before I've done my under eye concealer, but I'm going to work on my lower lash line first. Then we'll do shimmers. Then I'll see if I want to add the black in. So I'm going to take that dark brown again, Saddle, and I'm taking it on a MAC 214, my little small stubby brush. And I'm going to run that along the lashes of my lower lash line. About 2/3 of the way across, because I'm going to pop a bit of shimmer in here. Getting a little bit of fallout from that shade, but that's okay. That's why I haven't got any under eye concealer on. I had a feeling. And I'm not going to blend just yet, because I will do that after my under eye concealer is done. So we're going to actually just do the shimmers now and see how I feel. So I'm going to be using the two shimmers down here, the kind of olivey golden green, and then the shade Valentine, which is a bit more of like a mauvey, purpley, burgundy kind of color. And I'm going to take that first, the Valentine shade. And this is such a smooth metallic foil kind of shimmer. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. That's going to go on the center part of the lid, because I have got a little bit of that matte shade on the outer corner. So this is going to go right next to that, and we're going to leave the inner third. Oh my god, that colour. If you have green eyes, get this palette. Oh my god. And then just patting over where it meets that dark shade. You can take a little bit of whatever's on that brush that you use for the dark shade and you use that to blend the edge. And just go back and forward until you're happy. Then I'm taking a smaller little flat brush. This one's just from Charles Fox. And I'm going to take the shade Khaki, which is that olivey shade. And I didn't even realise how kind of olivey this was in photos. I just kind of got it because I like the overall colour story. But like, I would have got this way sooner if I had known that this was an actual like khaki colour. Or not khaki, like an olivey green shade. Oh, those colours together. That's going on the inner part that we left alone. Just pack it on, get it all nice and strong. And I'm not doing like any cut crease or anything like that, because I want this to be super smoky. And then just kind of patting between the two shades. I'm taking my brush that I have Valentine on, pat over where they meet, and then go back and forward like we did on the outer corner. And they actually blend, for being a green and purple, they actually blend really easy. Okay, so then I'm going to take Valentine again, which is that purpley shimmer that we used, and take it on the tip of the same brush that I used for it. We're going to just press that on the inner third of this lower lash line, making sure it just blends into that dark brown. And like I said, we will be blending out that lower lash line more, but I want to do that after my concealer is on. Okay, I think I will take a small little dab of that black. I just want to see, I'm just curious. And I'm going to take that on, this is like an elf little crease smudgy brush, pencil brush thing, and this is Ink is the name of this colour. And in my first impressions, I did compare this to the black that's in the Book of Magic palette from Beauty Bay, if you want to check that out. I just want to see how much darker it'll go compared to that brown. Because the black in the Book of Magic palette, I only used it once and it was so deep. So I'm just really going to focus this on this outer part out here in a little V shape. And then on my 214, taking a tiny little dab of that black as well, and then just put that in the very root of their lashes. It's not going to be like really noticeable that you used black, but it's just going to look like a super, super blackened brown. Okay, I'm in love. I'm loving it so far. I know it looks a mess, but trust the process. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to tidy all that up. And I will do my under concealer, and then we'll come back, blend out a little bit more, do an inner corner, and then I'll finish up my face. So I'll be back in a sec. Okay, Okay, I've kind of had to adjust the contrast of my camera because I swear to God, this sun is killing me. I need to like move away from the window, but I can't because this is where I film. This is my only filming spot. Anyway, I have concealed and powdered my face, so I'm not as shiny, but I still have a bit of a glow, which I quite like. So now what I'm going to do is the lower lash line. We're going to smudge and smudge and smudge this out. I'm going to take the shade Muffin, which is that warmer brown we used first. Taking this on a Real Techniques shading brush, small little fluffy stubby brush, and I really like it. I'm just going to use that along the edge of all of this on the lower lash line. Make sure you connect it out here so the blend is the same all the way around the eye. Just taking a little bit more of that Valentine shade on the very tip of the brush that we used for it, and I'm just going to pack a little bit more of that on. Okay, and then last little step, I'm going to go in with Oyster, which is that really light champagne gold shade, and it's very light. But I'm going to use that in my inner corner, just taking whatever blush. I'm just using a fluffy brush for this, just because it's there and clean, so that's why. And I'm just going to buff that on that inner corner for a bit of a highlight. Alrighty, so I am done, and I'm going to jump off. I'm going to do my liner, lashes, cheeks, and a lip. I think I'm going to do a nude lip. I'm loving this look, by the way. It's so pretty. It's so me and so kind of autumn. I like it. I'll be back in a sec. Okay guys, so if the lighting looks a bit different, the sun has gone in, and I am happy about that because now I don't look as washed out. I can fix the contrast again on my camera. So I'm going to quickly go through everything that I used on face. I'm loving this look, by the way. This is like so like my kind of smoky eye. If I was to do like a super glam smoky eye going out, this is very me. So let me quickly go through everything. On my eyes, I didn't do any liner on my waterline, not my waterline. I did do liner on my waterline. I didn't do any liner on my upper lash line as far as like wing liner or smoky liner because I didn't feel like I need to with the lashes on and it looks smoky already. So I just used my sleek twist up eye pencil in the shade Aubergine. It's just a deep plummy berry kind of colour, matches that like burgundy shimmer that we use on the lid very well, so I pop that on my waterline. My mascara is my Clinique Lash Power mascara, but I cannot seem to find it anywhere. I've already looked and I cannot find it, so it's the same one I've been always using. So whatever mascara you love, put that on. And then for lashes, I used my Cash Beauty Luxury Faux Mink Lashes, the Crystal Nights pack I have. And I used Aurora, which are the second pair here. They're super long and wispy on the ends, but they're not the longest pair. I think they actually might be the shortest pair. Then onto cheeks, I used my Fenty In The Sun Sunstalker Bronzer, my fave bronzer of all time, I'm pretty sure. Well, one of my faves anyway. And I used that just to bronze up my skin, my forehead, all that kind of jazz. My blush then, I used my Benefit Rockateur blusher. This one here is a bit more neutral of a blusher, which I always like this kind of tone of blush with this depth of eye and grungy kind of looks in general. This you can get individually. I just have it in one of their cheek parades, but you can get it individually. And then for highlight, I just want something super simple and kind of warmer as well, especially for my skin. And I use the Karl Lagerfeld and Model Co. Baked, it's called a baked blush, but it's a baked highlighter. Light is the shade, and I got it in a glossy box, so I don't know if they still sell it, but that's what I used. You could even use like the shade Oyster from the palette. That would work really well as a highlight, especially for paler skin. So yeah, it just look really wet in a good way. And then onto lips, I just want something neutral, still has a little bit of colour to it, but like neutral, cool toned as well. So I went in with my Whirl lip pencil. This is a pinky brown nude lip pencil. It's a great lip pencil, very versatile. My lipstick then is Love You Back, also from MAC. It's very MAC lip. Actually, yeah, because the gloss is also from MAC. This is, again, that kind of nudie, pinky brown kind of colour, but still on the cooler side. So I'll pop that on my lips. And then for lip gloss, I used Oyster Girl lip gloss from MAC, which is just kind of like a slight pinky, goldy shimmer. Shimmer doesn't really show up too much. I just wanted the glossiness and to keep the tone. So that has a similar kind of tone. So that's it. Okay guys, so that is look number 2 using the New Romantic palette from Beauty Bay or by Beauty Bay. And I'm still loving it. I really am. I love this look. This was like the first, as soon as I opened this palette, I was like, I didn't realize it was grungy down here. So that's what I instantly wanted to do with this. I think I'm probably going to do like a graphic liner of some sort in my last look. If not, I don't know. Who knows? But I'm loving it so far. I'm really, really enjoying it. I am excited to see look number 2. All pictures, like I said at the beginning, of all the looks in this video will be on my Instagram link down below. So let's get into look number 3. Did I say look number 2 earlier? I don't know. Look number 3. Okay guys, on to look number 3 using the New Romantics palette, and I am feeling a graphic liner using the shadows. And I haven't done one in forever like the way I want to do this, so bear with me on this one. This could go horribly wrong and I may change it, but we're gonna go with it. And I'm thinking we might do something like Embers, like just all over a matte, all over. Maybe Oyster or Chintz on the inner corner, and then the shimmers that I want to use is Penny, because I haven't used it yet. Raspberry, which I have used, and I haven't used Royal. So I'm going to do those 3 shimmers on this row here because it kind of gives me like sunset vibes, which I'm really liking. So that's the idea. I already have my eyeshadow primer on, I already have my brows on, and my skin on, which is all listed down below like normal. So let's get straight in. So I'm picking up Embers with a base shadow brush from Real Techniques. This is NARS, which I used in my first look of this video. And I just want to see, I know the NARS is darker, but it still has that like burnt russety kind of colour, and so does this, but I think this is a bit more of a burnt orange. So let's just go with it. And we're just going to press this all over. And I'm using this brush because it's flat and fluffy, so like it's pinched and it's fluffy, so I can pack it on and also blend with this brush. I do have another blending brush if I need to really blow it out, which I do want to, but I am just packing it on for now. The actual like eyeshadow part of this look, like not the graphic liner part, is so simple. It's just this inner corner, blend it out, and that's it. This is a beautiful colour, especially if you've got green eyes. This would be stunning. I have bluey grey kind of eyes, so it looks really cool with this as well, but the red in it will really bring out the green in your eyes if you've got green eyes. Obviously you can wear them if you've got brown eyes, doesn't really matter. So then just with whatever's left on that brush, just go in and start blending out, but I am going to use a clean brush to really blow it out. So just get it a little bit more diffused as we get around the edges down here as well. And I want this blended out far enough, like almost up to my eyebrow, because I want the liner to cut right through it and still have the halo of the shadow around it. So I'm going to take Embers again, and I'm actually taking this on a MAC 512 SES. I don't know what that all means, but that one. It came out with their Christmas collection, so I just have it. It's a little bit more pinch, so any kind of flat brush will do. Like flat packing brush, a 239 from MAC would do, or anything like that. Just because it's a little bit more pinched than the base shadow brush, I'm going to use this for my lower lash line before I do my full blend, and then I'll do my full blend all together. So taking that, and on the very tip, just run that really close to your lashes and blend it down as far as you want to make sure to connect on the outer corner. Okay, then taking a clean 217 from MAC, just a clean one, so that way I'm not transferring too much product around, and we're going to go in and really get in there and blend it. I also started blending out the lower lash line with that brush, like what I did with the other brush on the top, but just get in there, especially like around here. We don't want to bring too much colour into this area any more than there already is. We just want to fade it outwards, and you can always go back in and add more colour, but just getting your blend nice is what we want. And again, this is another trust the process. I think my second look was a trust the process as well, but you'll get there. Like once the liner goes on, like the graphic liner, which you don't have to do, you can always just do a winged liner or no liner, loads of mascara, pair of lashes if you want, and off you go. It would come together perfectly as well. I have to say, these colours blend so easy. I prefer the mattes in this more than I prefer them in the Book of Magic palette. Shimmers kind of on par, like they're beautiful. There's some more interesting shimmers in the Book of Magic though, so I probably prefer that as far as shimmers go. Okay, I think I'm going to go in with Oyster for the inner corner just because it's more golden, and this one here, Penny, is that kind of coppery colour, so I think they'll match better than say this, and this would be a bit too cool toned. So I'm going to go in, oh I almost picked up Penny, but we're going to go into Oyster, and this is another brush from that MAC Christmas collection. This is a 513 SES, so it's like a slanted flat brush, but it's like rounded as well. It's very weird, but I kind of like it. So I'm just going to take that brush, I'll just use that on the inner corner. You can use your finger for this bit if you really want to. You can see there, it just gives a really nice look. This would be such a pretty look on its own. It's so stunning. Add whatever kind of coloured waterline liner you want. I think that's really pretty. You can tell I like a lot of inner corner highlight, by the way. Okay, so for the graphic liner, I'm going to go in with my NYX glitter primer, and we're going to sketch it out using that. Instead of using like a black liner, this is a lot more forgiving, so if you make a mistake you won't really notice it too much, and just kind of map it out. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that as well. I'm going to use an angled brush for this. I'm going to use this one here, is just a little angled brush. It kind of looks like a Real Techniques brush, but it's actually not, it's just like a dupe. And then I actually have 3 other angled brushes for my 3 different shimmers. You don't need to do this, this is just me. You can clean off your brushes in between, but I'm going to use 4 different brushes just to let you know. I'm going to do one eye at a time just so that the glitter primer stays tacky, especially since we're doing a big kind of area. So picking up the brush for the glitter primer, I popped a little bit out on my hand just so I have that to work with, and we're going to start with just a winged liner. So nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. Just map out a winged liner. Doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see this. It's just, this is what the shimmer is going to stick to. So once it's even enough, you can finesse the edges a little bit more with the shadows as you need to. And then just drawing my wing. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes, you can. Big enough wing just so I have enough space then to go in and do the graphic liner part. You can kind of see where it is because it's actually lifted a little bit off the shadow underneath, but that's okay because we're going to cover it up anyway. But if you're worried about not being able to see where you're going to do your liner, you can. So now what I'm going to do is go from the wing, the very point of the wing, or just below the point, in to the eye and kind of map that around. If you want to start getting into glitter or graphic liner, then this is the best way to do it because you can really forgive yourself with them. I'm getting stressed because I haven't done this in so long. And the last time I did it wasn't with a glitter primer, it was with an actual liner. Just make sure the whole thing comes out to a nice point as if it's a wing. And I've gone a little bit above my crease so I can see it when my eye is open as well. Okay, so now working quickly just so I don't lose any tackiness, we're going to take Penny, which is that bronzy coppery kind of colour there. Picking some of that up. This shimmer reminds me a lot of the kind of coppery tone that's in the actual Book of Magic palette. I'm taking this on the first, say, third of this liner along my lash line. We're going to do an ombre liner, as if it's already not complicated enough for the liner. Then picking up my next brush, going to take Raspberry, which is that really bright kind of corally red shimmer. And that's going to go in the center. You can obviously just pick one colour and do that because that'd be a lot easier, but I like to make my life complicated. And they should blend quite easy because the tones are both very warm. So just kind of patting over, and because it's such a small area, you don't really notice if it's not as blended, but it's already blended. And that's going to go in the center, like third, a little bit out further than the where my iris is. And then I'm going to take Royal. So I used Raspberry right here. I'm going to take Royal, which is this purple here. And that's going to go on the outer wing. Getting some fallout from these shimmers, but that's okay. And then taking that a little bit, the same purple, start bringing that up a little bit. We're kind of just going to match it a little bit, but maybe not bring it in as far because I don't have as much space in the crease for this. Then go back in with the Raspberry shade, do the same. That's going to go in the center of this line up here. Then go back into Penny, which is the copper, and that's going to go on the inner part in here. That's so fun. I love it. Okay, now to recreate it on the other side. Wish me luck. Okay, they're not exactly even, but they're good enough for me to work with. This side is slightly higher, but it's okay because I normally take like kind of photos like that, you know, like kind of half side photos. Because that's how I like to take my pictures. So like, and I take it from both sides, so I'm not cheating. I'm not picking one side. It's just, they won't look uneven because I normally take side pictures, so it's fine, it's fine. So I'm going to jump off, I'm going to tidy up the little bit of fallout that I have on my under eyes. I'm going to do my mascara, lashes, some kind of liner on the waterline, I don't really know. I'm also going to do my cheeks and my lips, and I'll come back and let you know what I use on my face. Alrighty guys, so this is how I have finished off the look. I am really liking it. I had a hard time picking the lip because I was like, do I want to kind of match? Do I kind of not want to match? Do I want to go nude? Do I want to go for a bright colour? But I decided to kind of match it a little bit. So I'm going to quickly go through everything that I used on my face. On my eyes, my waterline, yes, okay, I did a thing. I did 3 different colours on my waterline. I did a rosy gold kind of colour to match the kind of coppery shade that's on the inner part because it's the closest that I had. This is the Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil in the shade Rosy and Goldie. And I just did that on the inner third of the eye, of the waterline. And then I used this guy, which is a lip pencil. Don't use lip pencils on your waterline or on your eye area because they're not meant for the eye area. I'm not telling you to do this. This is just what I had and I used it and I trust myself, so do as I say, not as I do. So this is the Ella Girl Shockwave Neon Lip Pencil in the shade Fiery, which is kind of like a reddish pinky colour, which kind of, not really, but kind of matches. It's the closest again that I had to the pinky shade. And I used that in the centre of my waterline. And then I used this guy, which is a pretty good match actually for the shimmer out here. This is the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Piggy Bank, and I used that on the outer third. And you just pop them on side by side and they just look like they blend into each other. It's really, really nice. It's a really fun way to add a little bit of colour in that's not super noticeable, and I love it. Then I just popped down my mascara, my Clinique Lash Power Mascara on my top and bottom lashes. Like always, that's what I've been using, so I don't even think I need to show it. And then for lashes, I use my House of Lashes Temptress Wispies. I don't know if this is like old packaging or something like that, but they are super kind of, not the most dense, but dense enough in the roots of lashes, but they're super wispy. They've got like real long twirly bits on the end, and they're really fun and just really quite natural looking actually, even though they're not natural, if that makes sense. Then onto cheeks, I went in with my Benefit Dallas bronzer. I don't know if it's a bronzer, I always say this, I don't know if it's a bronzer, but I use it as bronzer, and I use that to kind of contour bronze my face. For cheeks then I decided to match the eyeshadow colour, like the all over colour that I have. Kind of, this is a bit more pinky, but I used my MAC Mineralized blush in the shade Hey Coral Hey. So I used that all over, and I think it matches really nicely. And then for highlight, I went in with something that has a little bit of pink in it as well. So this is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter in the shade Blossom Glow. So it's not like a pink duochrome, it just has a pink tone to it, which I really like. And it's one of my favorite highlighters. Then for lips, I did decide to kind of match it a little bit. So I went in with my Rosy Rim lip pencil from MAC. It's just a peachy, beautiful peachy corally kind of colour on the lips. I lined my lips and filled in the whole lip with that, and then I went in with Peach Blossom lipstick, which is also a MAC lipstick, and it is a very soft peachy colour. Really nice and creamy as well, but I did add a gloss because I wanted a teensy bit more colour than this. So I went in with the Catrice Infinite Shine lip gloss. It's this one here. I actually have backup, so let me get the name. Because I've used it so much, the name is actually rubbed off. So it's actually called Very Very Raspberry. And it's like a corally shade, and I use that all over just to add a hint more colour and also give a bit more shine. Alrighty guys, so that is our 3 looks, 1 palette using the New Romantics palette from By Beauty Bay Cosmetics. I really am happy I have this palette. It was such a steal for me. I think it was $12.50 I got it for on Beauty Bay because it was on sale, but it's normally €18, which is still an absolute steal. That's less than €1 per eyeshadow, and I really enjoyed using it. I think the shimmers are beautiful. I think the mattes are beautiful, even better than the Book of Magic palette. You don't necessarily need this in it, and because I have the Book of Magic palette, I didn't need the black. But if you don't have the Book of Magic palette, it's there for you. So you have a good range, you've got a good bit of depth, and you've got a good bit of light in it. The shimmers are beautiful. There's such a nice range of shimmers to mattes, nice range of colours you can go for. And you can see in the 3 looks that I've done, it's not just a pink red like palette. That's not all the looks you're going to get. It's not just monochrome. There is that bit of grunge at the bottom that I did. There is some purpley shades. There is more kind of neutral coppery tones as well if you want to do that. So I'm very happy with this. I'm so happy. I will use it more. If you want, let me know down below if you want to see me do a get ready with me. I'll do it. I don't mind. If you did like this video, give me a big thumbs up down below. It's the quickest, simplest and easiest way to give me a little bit of support, get me around to more people, and also let me know you like the video so I'll do more videos like this. And also hit subscribe down below to see many more videos coming up. I have a whole load of palettes this year, like so many palettes. I'm trying to keep them spread out because it gives me a lot of content to do then, and I don't have time to do them all back to back, so that's why. So hit subscribe down below to see many more first impressions, many more 3 looks on palette and 2 looks on palettes, and brands I've never even tried before, which I'm very excited about. I'm so excited. Like I said, if you want to see it get ready with me, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do it. If there's anything that you know that I own, let me know and I'll do a get ready with me. I'll throw it into one and make a look out of it. So I always want stuff to do in a get ready with me, so I want to know that down below in the comments. Also, my Instagram is linked down below to see up close pictures of this look and every look that's in this video, which I said earlier on in the video, but I will do up close eye pictures and face pictures down there sometime after the video goes live. And I think that is everything that I need to say. Is it, Carla? Yes, I think so. So I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.